how's it going? Welcome back. How are you guys? It's fantastic to, it feels good to be making a video. If you're new around here, my name is Jared. I'm a photographer and coffee enthusiast from Louisiana. And if you're not new here, then you're probably very aware that I took like a really long break from YouTube. Just to explain that really quickly, my wife and I had a really rough December of 2020. I made a whole video about it. I will put it right up there. It was not relaxing hardly at all. So for the month of January, I decided to just kind of take a step back, take a little bit of time to try and relax a little bit, breathe a little bit before I got back into just full on making videos. And so yeah, we're kicking February off strong. It's February 1st, it's Monday. Hope you're having a great day, even though it's Monday. But this is a pretty fun video because we're talking about my favorite drink of all time, the honey and cinnamon latte. If you watched my vlogs at all, then you're very familiar with what my favorite coffee is. By the way, if you didn't watch my daily vlogs, again, I'll put another link right there. You should go watch those. That was pretty fun. 100 days of daily vlogs. It's pretty long. But my favorite drink is the honey and cinnamon latte, specifically the honey and cinnamon latte from Dro Coffee here in Monroe, Louisiana. It's my favorite coffee shop in the entire world, and I've been to a lot of coffee shops. But over the course of the Christmas break, and then even during my little break in January, I finally figured out a way to make one at home, and it's really good. So I'm gonna run you through my process of how I make a honey and cinnamon latte at home, all the tools you need, all the ingredients, everything. Let's do it. Alrighty, first things first, we're gonna talk about coffee. I like the brand Onyx Coffee, been using it for a little while. This particular roast is called Geometry. It's my first time using it, but I really like it. Next up, we're talking about milk. This is grass-fed whole organic milk. It just stretches really well and it tastes really good. Next up, honey. I use only organic honey. Again, it just tastes better and it's organic. Next up, we're talking about cinnamon. This is Vietnam cinnamon. Not entirely sure where my wife got this, but it's pretty good. All right, for tools, you're gonna need a scale. Gonna need an AeroPress. Make sure it's got the fellow Prismo attachment. These two things are sold separately, so you might have to pick them up separately, but yeah, you need the AeroPress and the Prismo. Next up, you need a kettle full of hot water. This is my Stag kettle by Fellow. You're gonna need a grinder capable of grinding for an espresso. You need a rag. The cleanliness of it is optional. This one has a brown stain, but I promise it's just coffee. Next up, you're gonna need some form of cup. This is a latte cup, 12 ounces, pretty great. Also, you're probably gonna need a smaller cup. This is a cappuccino cup by Fellow. Really like that. Next, you're gonna need a milk pitcher or a steaming pitcher, whatever you wanna call it. You're gonna need a Bellman stovetop steamer. Lastly, you're gonna need a tiny spoon. This is called a Demitasse spoon. Now on to the actual process. First things first, go ahead and take your steaming pitcher and stick it in the freezer. Trust me, it's gonna make perfect sense why in just a minute. Next, you wanna take your Bellman stovetop steamer, stick it on the stove and turn it on high. Go ahead and grab your scale and start weighing out your coffee. You need 18 grams of coffee. Put it in your grinder and grind it for an espresso, and then go ahead and let that puppy run. Go ahead and grab your AeroPress Fellow Prismo combination and put the coffee in. Not the water just yet, just the coffee. Put that on top of the smaller cup. Go ahead and take your latte cup, put it on the scale, tear the scale, and then put 15 grams of honey in the cup. Next, you're gonna put your cinnamon in. I usually use about a teaspoon, but I just kind of eyeball it just enough to cover the honey. Next, take your Demitasse spoon, go ahead and stir the honey and cinnamon. Make sure you stir them completely. By this time, your Bellman stovetop steamer should be wisping steam out of the little holes in the handles. Take it off the heat. Take your AeroPress, your cup, put it on the scale, and go ahead and put 75 grams worth of water into your AeroPress, then give that a little stir with your spoon. At this time, you're done with your scale. Go ahead and put that off to the side. Stick the plunger into the AeroPress and start plunging it down. It should take about 20 to 30 seconds. Don't worry if there's a lot of pressure behind it. There's supposed to be. Go ahead and grab your steaming pitcher from the freezer and start filling it up with milk. You want the milk to be right at the base of the spout that you pour the milk out of.
All right, now it's time to steam your milk. Go ahead and put the steam wand down in the milk, just at an angle to where it starts to create a whirlpool inside of the steaming pitcher. Now, the reason we put the steaming pitcher in the freezer was to keep it as cold as possible, so during this process, while you're steaming and stretching the milk, you've got a little more time and it's just a little easier to stretch the milk without burning the milk. You want the milk to be the correct viscosity. You want it to almost look like wet paint, but as you'll see in just a minute, I didn't quite get it right. As a matter of fact, I gave it too little air. And the consequences of too little air basically means that there's going to be no foam for you to do any sort of latte art. That's right. Watch very carefully. Disappointment because there's no latte art, but that didn't stop me from standing there and slurping my latte like a Neanderthal. Yes, it's so good. You just gotta stand there and just drink it right there on the spot. It's so good.
There it is, the honey and cinnamon latte made at home with very little tools needed. It's fantastic. It's such a good drink, especially if you've never had one before. You need to try one. Don't go to Starbucks or some other name brand coffee shop and ask for a honey and cinnamon latte. You're just gonna be disappointed. Go to a good specialty third wave coffee shop, ask them for a honey and cinnamon latte. It will blow your mind. That's it for me, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make it a point to like and comment and subscribe. All of those fun things. You guys are incredible. Every single one of you who keep watching these videos. There's a lot more coming. This is by no means the end of the videos. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all those fun things. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you there. Bye.